Welcome to RCFE Deal Room. I'm Dale Corpus. If you're buying, selling, or investing in residential care facilities for the elderly in California, this channel is designed to help you make smarter decisions and avoid costly mistakes. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a long-term RCFE owner thinking about selling, or an investor evaluating opportunities, my goal is to help you better understand how RCFE transactions really work. One of the questions I get asked all the time is, Dale, what are the biggest mistakes people make when buying an RCFE? It's a great question because here's the reality. Buying an RCFE can be an incredible opportunity. You're not just buying real estate, you're buying a business. You're buying cash flow. You're buying relationships. You're buying a reputation that may have taken years to build. But I've also seen buyers make mistakes that could have been avoided simply by asking better questions. Today, I want to walk through the 10 biggest mistakes I see first-time RCFE buyers make. And if you're an RCFE owner watching this, pay attention too, because these are the exact things serious buyers are evaluating before they decide whether to move forward with the purchase. Let's jump in. Mistake number 1, falling in love with the property instead of the business. This is probably the biggest mistake I see. A buyer walks into a beautiful home, fresh paint, updated kitchen, nice landscaping, beautiful neighborhood, and they immediately think, this is the one. But here's the problem. You're not buying a beautiful home. You're buying an operating business. I'd rather purchase a profitable, well-run business operating inside an average-looking home than a struggling business operating inside $1 million showcase. The business should drive the decision, not the granite countertops. Mistake number 2, not understanding what you're actually buying. Every RCFE transaction is different. Sometimes you're buying the business, the real estate, or both. And sometimes you're buying the business while leasing the property. Sometimes the seller plans to stay involved during the transition. Every deal is unique. Before getting emotionally invested, make sure you understand exactly what's included. Furniture, equipment, licenses, leases, vehicles, employees, training, everything. Clarity upfront prevents surprises later. Mistake number 3, paying the asking price without understanding value. One mistake I see is buyers assuming if that's the asking price, that must be what it's worth. Not necessarily. Every RCFE tells a different story. When I evaluate an RCFE, I'm looking at multiple factors together: the real estate, occupancy, cash flow, staffing, licensing, referral sources, reputation, location, growth potential, overall risk. No single number determines value. It's how all those pieces fit together to help me form an opinion. If you're an RCFE owner watching, those are many of the same things buyers will evaluate when they're determining what your business may be worth. Mistake number 4, skipping proper due diligence. Sometimes buyers become excited. They're afraid another buyer will beat them to the opportunity, so they rush. But due diligence isn't where you cut corners. Review the financials, review the occupancy history, understand licensing, review inspection reports, ask questions, verify information, and remember, trust is wonderful. Verification is better. Good due diligence doesn't ruin deals. It protects you from bad ones. Mistake number 5, underestimating how much cash you'll actually need. Many buyers spend all their time figuring out, can I afford the purchase price? But buying the RCFE is only the beginning. You also need to think about working capital, insurance, repairs, professional services, payroll, unexpected expenses, transition costs. Operating a business always requires some financial cushion. Don't spend every dollar getting into the deal. Leave yourself room to operate comfortably after closing. Mistake number 6, not understanding the financial story. Financial statements tell a story. Don't just ask, is the business profitable? Ask, why is it profitable? How consistent has occupancy been? Are revenues increasing or decreasing? What do payroll expenses look like? Are there unusually high expenses? How dependent is the business on the current owner? Strong financials aren't just about today's numbers. They're about whether those numbers are sustainable after you become the owner. If you're buying an RCFE, spend the time to understand what's driving the business. Mistake number 7, overlooking the importance of staffing. Here's something many first-time RCFE buyers underestimate. You're not just buying a building, you're buying people. Experienced caregivers, administrators, employees who already know the residents. Ask questions like, how long has the staff been there? What's employee turnover been like? How involved is the current owner in the day-to-day operations? Could the business continue operating smoothly if the owner stepped away tomorrow? An experienced, stable team can be one of the most valuable assets you're acquiring. And if you're an RCFE owner thinking about selling someday, building a strong team today often makes your business much more attractive tomorrow. Mistake number 8, rushing into an offer. Sometimes buyers become afraid. They're worried another buyer will submit an offer first. That pressure can lead to emotional decisions. Remember, you're making one of the biggest investments of your life. Move efficiently, but don't confuse speed with preparation. If something doesn't make sense, ask another question. If you need another day to understand the financials, take it. Good opportunities are exciting, but they should also make sense. Mistake number 9, not looking at future potential. One thing I always encourage buyers to think about is, what could the business become? Can occupancy improve? Could marketing improve? Could referral relationships expand? Is there room to improve operations? Can revenue increase? Sometimes the best opportunities aren't perfect today. They're the businesses with the greatest upside. The goal isn't simply buying today's business, it's understanding tomorrow's opportunity. Mistake number 10, trying to do everything alone. Because an RCFE isn't something you need to figure out by yourself. Depending on the transaction, your team may include a real estate broker, a business attorney, a CPA, a lender, an insurance professional, inspectors, licensing professionals. Every expert doesn't need to know everything, but together, they help you make better decisions. One of the biggest values I try to provide my clients is helping them understand the process and connecting them with experienced professionals when specialized questions come up. Good advice usually costs far less than fixing a preventable mistake after closing. If I could leave every first-time RCFE buyer with one piece of advice, it would be this: slow down. Ask better questions. Don't fall in love with the property before you understand the business. The best buyers aren't always the ones who move the fastest. They're the ones who understand what they're buying. And if you're an RCFE owner watching, hopefully today's episode gave you some insight into how buyers evaluate opportunities. Understanding what buyers are looking for can help you better prepare your business long before you ever decide to sell. If there's one thing I hope you take away from today's episode, it's this: most expensive mistakes happen long before escrow closes. They happen when buyers skip questions, assume information, or rush into decisions. The more prepared you are before making an offer, the more confident you'll feel through the entire transaction. Whether you're buying your first RCFE, growing your portfolio, or preparing your facility for an eventual sale, I hope RCFE Deal Room becomes a trusted resource along the way. Even if you never work with me, I hope these videos help you make better decisions. That's the reason I created RCFE Deal Room. If you'd like additional educational resources, including my free RCFE Buyer's Due Diligence Checklist, visit simplifyseniortransitions.com/RCFE. There, you'll find tools designed to help RCFE buyers, sellers, and investors make more informed decisions. If you found today's episode helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe. And if there's a topic you'd like me to cover in a future episode, leave it in the comments. I read every single one, and many of these episodes are inspired by your questions. Next time, we're shifting our focus to RCFE owners as we discuss thinking about selling your RCFE. Start here. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dale Corpus, and I'll see you next time here on RCFE Deal Room.